Just ahead on CTV News. Stop sign cameras could soon make their way to Prince George's school zones. Plus, the county state's attorney hosts a roundtable about business and justice. And big football wins all around in our Monday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for October 21st. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're just 2 weeks away from Election Day, and Democrat Kamala Harris is expected to secure Maryland in the upcoming presidential election. However, the national outcome remains uncertain, and Maryland leaders are bracing for the potential return of Republican Donald Trump. Now, according to the Baltimore Banner, a Trump presidency could lead to federal job cuts, funding questions for key transportation projects, reduced cooperation on gun violence, and budget uncertainties for the state. Now, officials warn that Trump's policies and his Project 2025 plan could have a uniquely harmful impact on Maryland. Meanwhile, as Maryland gears up for early voting this week, some local election boards are racing to recruit and train workers, facing pressure to hire more Republican election judges. According to Maryland Matters, elections officials report ongoing challenges in achieving a balanced number of Democratic and Republican judges to oversee polling places. Now, Maryland law mandates equal staffing, and while non-affiliated judges can help fill gaps, the clock is ticking. Meanwhile, a 5-vehicle crash in Upper Marlboro leaves a man dead this morning. According to Maryland State Police, the crash happened on Route 301 at Village Drive around 10 a.m. Now, 5 people were taken to the hospital once officers arrived. 1 man was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, all surrounding lanes didn't reopen until 2 p.m., and the cause of the crash is still under investigation. We will keep you updated as this story develops. Meanwhile, in an effort to keep students safe, a new bill looks to curb speeding near county schools. The measure would allow the county to place stop sign cameras near a select group of schools. According to County Council member Crystal Oriata, the state has already gave the county authority to use stop sign cameras at school zones. Oriata says municipalities will have to submit areas that they would like to see the stop sign cameras placed. The council would then have to approve the list of areas through a resolution.
We will still have to prioritize what areas get stop sign cameras. So we tell everyone it won't be everywhere. We'll have to prioritize areas that have the most issues, and it's projected to create around $5 million of revenue for the county.
And this bill was voted unanimously by the Transportation, Infrastructure, Energy, and Environment Committee back on October 10th. Oriata expects the bill to pass the full council in November, and municipalities like Bowie, Cottage City, and Forest Heights already have stop sign cameras near school zones. Well, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown and 19 other attorneys general are urging a federal court to reject the challenge to a rule making insurers liable for discrimination. It's the Department of Housing and Urban Development's discriminatory effects rule, and it says insurers and other parties are liable under the Fair Housing Act for housing practices that may have a discriminatory effect. Now, the rule applies whether or not the insurer intended to discriminate, a form of discrimination called disparate impact. Brown and other AGs are opposing the claim that the rule interferes with state-level insurance regulation. While businesses and justice may not likely be the most likely pairing, but Prince George's State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy met with business leaders and entrepreneurs from around the area today to discuss how the two intersect. The Bi-County Business Roundtable aims to present issues that impact the growth of businesses in the state, and the state's attorney spoke to them about how their businesses can work together with the Justice Department.
If there are robberies at their businesses, if there's theft, either of employees or patrons, we are able to prosecute those cases, hold folks accountable. We definitely need those business owners or managers to come to court because sometimes that is a barrier to us moving forward. But we are committed to providing justice for everyone in our community, including the business community.
And the Bi-County Business Roundtable is headed by former state delegate and chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, Daryl. Well, the blueprint for Maryland's future pre-K expansion plan is proving to be a challenge for private child care providers. The plan is designed to make pre-K available to every 3- and 4-year-old in the state through both public and private providers. But private child care centers say it's been difficult partnering with the state, pointing to challenges with the application process, insufficient funds, and competing with public schools to fill pre-K slots. Now, centers that choose not to participate in the state grants could risk losing their students to cost-free options. The State Legislative Assembly will meet in January to discuss issues with the plan and re-examine the multi-billion-dollar cost of the blueprint. And a new study has determined a connection between COVID-19 and type 2 diabetes in children and teenagers. The study, published in the JAMA Network Open Medical Journal, relied on health records of more than 600,000 patients. It found that during the first 6 months after a COVID diagnosis, patients between the ages of 10 and 19 were 50% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to their peers who had a different kind of respiratory infection, such as the flu. The study also found the risk of developing type 2 diabetes after COVID was even higher for patients who were obese. Hey, you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, abandoned vehicles have been a big problem in the county. Find out the cause and how the county council is handling the issue. We'll be right back.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. You may see a child wrestling with hidden battles. We see a child learning to manage life's twists and turns. And where you may see a distracted teen, we see teens making a difference in their community. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed, from fostering confidence and community to preparing them for graduation and beyond. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, and I travel to space twice as a NASA astronaut. Space technologies help protect our precious Earth. Space helps us monitor changes in carbon emissions, track the pace of climate change. It even helps us fight natural disasters. Make sure that you get out to your local science museum or go to spaceforall.us to explore and learn about space and science. Space is for all.
It's Kyle's last spin on his turntable from college.
Yeah.
And the first day of Kira's new career in IT. It's the last tea party for Crystal with Miss Marshmallow.
Oh, wow.
And Sarah's first day of management training at Goodwill. When you donate items to Goodwill, you help provide skills training and career placement for people seeking to realize their potential. And the things you love get to start a new life too.
Welcome back. A Prince George's County family rallied Saturday demanding an end to gun violence following the tragic murder of Shaheed Iman Omar Jr. Shaheed was killed just after a vigil for friends, leaving behind a grieving family and a 3-year-old daughter who still asks for him. His partner was pregnant with their son at the time, and Shaheed's murder occurred just a day before a baby shower where he intended to propose.
I'm going to war for my son. I'm going to war for mine. You don't have to be impacted by this to be able to feel the pain of it, because you never know when you'll be in my place. I seen this on the news several times and never thought I would be standing in this very space doing this same thing that another mother had to do before me.
If you see something, we need to say something and continue to clean our community and stop poisoning our community by not saying anything.
And his family shared heartbreaking stories, emphasizing the pain of a child who will never know his father. And Governor Moore announces a huge investment in state and federal funds to offer support to families of homicide victims in Maryland. Through the governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Policy, $60.5 million will be invested into the Victims of Crime Act funding process. Now, the grants will cover payment to crime victims, forensics for sexual assault survivors, and victim legal services. Now, more than 85% of applicants receiving funding and representation. Meanwhile, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown has joined a multi-state coalition to support ending needless barriers to mifepristone access in North Carolina. The drug is the medication used to terminate pregnancies up to 10 weeks or 70 days. And the coalition of attorneys general argued that the drug has been safely used in reproductive health care for decades since its approval by the FDA. Attorney General Brown says the ability of reproductive health products should not be subject to the whims of politics. Meanwhile, a county council bill looks to deal with the growing issue of abandoned cars throughout Prince George's. The council's government operations and fiscal policy held a committee meeting this afternoon. The group discussed measure is CB 86, which would increase the fines and revoke the licenses of towing companies that are dumping abandoned vehicles on streets and parking lots around the county. Tom Dernaga, the co-sponsor, says that the county is also finding that the unlicensed tow companies are engaging in this practice.
We reached agreement on those amendments to just to increase the fines and to state that if a tow company is caught doing this, they can have their license revoked. $100 for the first violation, $500 for a second violation, $1,000 for any more violations.
And this bill is expected to be introduced in front of the full council tomorrow, with a public hearing set for sometime in November. Now, during today's meeting, the committee voted to take out a part of the bill that focused on which county agency has the capacity to enforce the measure. And this will be a separate bill next year. And listen up, if you love frozen waffles, it's time to check your freezer. Some popular brands have been recalled due to a potential listeria contamination. Now, Treehouse Foods announced a voluntary recall on Friday for their frozen waffle products, which you might find at various stores across the U.S. and Canada. The FDA has flagged Listeria monocytogenes as a serious concern, especially for young kids, the elderly, and anyone with a weakened immune system. So take a moment to double check your stash. And have you ever experienced confusion over food labels, sell-by, and best-by dates? Well, you're not alone. One study said $30 billion in perfectly good food is thrown away every year because consumers were confused about what the date labels meant. And one federal bill is trying to make those labels more uniform by requiring a best-by date to mark when the quality of an item may go down and a use-by date to show when it's time to throw it away. This would do away with the sell-by label that's just an indication for stores on how long to leave a product on display. Now, no action has been taken on the bill since 2023, but a similar state law going into effect in California could enforce changes across the county. And still to come on CTV News, a Wallet Hub survey has ranked the nation's top colleges. Find out if any schools in Maryland made the list after the break.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
This land we love belongs to all of us. Yet not everyone is treated equally. Right now, millions of Americans are fighting for the things promised to all by the Constitution: freedom, justice, equality. The ACLU is leading the fight to protect our civil liberties. Together, we can protect and advance our rights nationwide, because we the people means all of us.
This land was made for you and me.
Learn how the ACLU is defending the right to vote, free speech, and other civil liberties at myaclu.org.
How does cash bail turn poverty into a crime? Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford to pay your bail, and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail is immoral and unjust. That's why the Bail Project helps those who cannot afford it while fighting to end cash bail, because freedom should be free.
In an election year, the stakes are higher than ever. So we all need to take extra care with the information we believe and share online. It feels good to have our views echoed back to us, but it's important to challenge our biases and break out of our bubbles. Be sure you're getting some hard news in your media diet, and double-check what you see on social media with a variety of credible news sources. Be informed, not misled.
Seven Maryland schools have made the 2025 top colleges and universities in the nation rankings. Out of nearly 800 institutions, the only school from Prince George's to make the list is the University of Maryland College Park. Now, according to a Wallet Hub survey, UMD ranked number 82 on the list. The top Maryland school coming in at number 10 was Johns Hopkins University. The top 5 schools on the list include Princeton, Yale, Harvard, MIT, and Dartmouth. And the Redevelopment Authority of Prince George's County announces $1 million towards its commercial property improvement program. The program is made to assist shopping center owners with improving retail street storefront properties. Now, the grants require applicants to be able to pay half of the total project cost, and the minimum grants range between $50 and $350. Now, applications for the funding start today, but the deadline to submit is December 9th. And hold your horses no more. The Washington International Horse Show officially kicked off today in Upper Marlboro. The show features national and international competitions, all hoping to win the $340,000 Jumping World Cup Washington on Saturday. Now, there's also the International Jumper Costume Class just in time for Halloween, and it's the 3rd year the show will come to Prince George's, and county leaders are glad to have it.
I mean, it's just a huge community event that is growing, and it was competitive. It was not easy to get this show back to Prince George's County. We competed for it, and we've made investments to this arena to ensure they come back each year and that we continue to invest in our community and invest in our economy. National Harbor gets also a lot of investment. People are coming here, they stay. It's our host hotel during the course of this show. And so we just continue to, again, not only grow culturally the equestrian community here, but it does provide a big boost to our economy, jobs, and opportunities for Prince Georgians.
And CTV will be taking a trip down to the Showplace Arena tomorrow for the main event, so saddle up, you don't want to miss it. And a small island community in Maryland is on a list of one of the nation's most expensive zip codes. Gibson Island is located on the western shore of the Chesapeake in Anne Arundel County. According to Property Shark, a real estate developer data provider ranks Gibson Island as the 25th most expensive zip code in the country. It was ranked 45th last year. Now, reports indicate that the new ranking is due to the median sale price increasing to $3.3 million. And a species that is native to Eastern Asia has been spotted again in Maryland. The insect is called the lanternfly, and reports indicate that the insect was first detected in the state in Cecil County back in 2018. An adult lanternfly has a distinctive look, with its outer wings being gray with black polka dots and its underwings fed with black polka dots. According to the University of Maryland's College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, the insect doesn't bite or sting, but they are harmful to the state agriculture crops. And Americans will soon have to fall back as daylight savings time is coming to an end, but recent polls show people are tired of adjusting their clocks twice a year. A YouGov survey shows 62% of Americans want to get rid of the daylight saving time altogether. Now, the Senate passed a bill last year to adopt daylight saving time as the year-round permanent time, but it hasn't went anywhere in the House of Representatives. Daylight savings time ends on Sunday, November 3rd. And stay tuned after the break. I have the Monday sports page, and we'll be talking football from Terps to Commanders. Don't go anywhere.
These walls and windows hold me tight. The warm embrace we all call home. My neighbors watch over one another. This little street is a land of liberty of its own, where I always have a place to go. I'm free to call this place my own. We all deserve a place to call home.
That's an American dream.
I love you.
My little miracle is Beckett. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is the kid's not gonna live.
I wish my cancer was gone.
The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated.
Now to a look at sports. The Maryland Terrapins took the field at Saturday's homecoming game against the USC Trojans, looking to turn around a 2-game losing streak, down 21-7 at the half. Defensive back LaVane Scruggs sparked the turnaround with a 51-yard interception return. Then on the next play, Terps quarterback Billy Edwards tossed a pass to receiver Ty Felton, who pushes his way in for the touchdown. With 2 minutes left in the game and USC up by 6, Upper Marlboro's Donnell Brown blocks the Trojans' field goal attempt, and the Terps QB finishes the drive with a 3-yard touchdown run to put Maryland up by 1, 29-28. The Terps defense came up big again with the pass breakup to seal the game, and fans stormed the field to celebrate the win.
This is what college football is all about. I mean, to have USC, a traditional power, come to Terpsville and play here at home. I mean, I love the fact that we have opportunities like this as a team, and I love for our fan base to get to see what it really feels like, looks like here at home, and what it can be like.
Just a fight with all phases of the ball. Obviously, right, things didn't go our way, throughout the game, especially early, but we just continued to chip away, and found ourselves in a ball game in the fourth quarter to give ourselves a chance, and then we made plays when it counted there at the end.
And earlier in the day, Bowie State took on Bluefield State, and the 1-4 Bulldogs were also looking to give their homecoming fans something to celebrate. After a 39-yard catch-and-run pass from quarterback Kevin Taylor to receiver Jameer Roberts, Bowie State took an early lead with a 2-yard touchdown pass to running back Micah Robinson. And the Bulldogs' defense was also dominant all game, holding Bluefield State's offense to only 58 yards. Now, running back Maximus Jones continued the Bulldogs scoring in the second quarter with a 1-yard run into the end zone. And on the next drive, Taylor pitches the ball to receiver Antwain Banks, who then hits receiver Joseph Towler on a 58-yard touchdown bomb to give Bowie State a 27-0 lead. And the Bulldogs added 27 more points in the second half and shut out Bluefield State 54-0. And Daryl Green's legendary number 28 now belongs to history. The Washington Commanders retired the Hall of Fame cornerback's jersey at halftime of yesterday's 40-7 victory over the Carolina Panthers, 22 years after his final NFL season. Green played his entire career in Washington and was a cornerstone of the Burgundy and Gold's second and third Super Bowl winning teams. During a pregame celebration, Green got emotional about the honor.
They're going to say this guy cared. They're going to say this guy took what he had. He took all this fame and celebration and resources, and he wasn't just chewing it up for himself and his own family, but he was giving it away. He was trying to make sure that that little boy was okay too, that that little kid had mental health support, that that grandmother could get some money in her pocket and get a nose paid, that that little boy could learn how you don't have to do this and do that. You don't have to do, I don't do drugs, never in 40, 30, 64 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Never in 64 years. And I'm successful, I guess. I mean, I played in the NFL, I'm faithfully married. I'm not a drug guy. I didn't never have to do any of that, never. I didn't have to cheat on my wife. I have to smoke dope. You don't have to smoke marijuana. Hello? You don't have to get high. You can use your own mind, and God can help you.
And Green is the 5th player to have his number retired after Sonny Jurgensen's number 9, Bobby Mitchell's number 49, Sammy Baugh's number 33, and Sean Taylor's number 21. And Christian Benteke takes the crown as the 2024 MLS Golden Boot winner. The DC United forward netted 23 goals this season, outscoring the likes of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Benteke's dominant performances led him to become the first Belgian and 3rd player in DC United history to win the prestigious award. And with his aerial dominance and goal-scoring ability, Benteke played a crucial role in the team's playoff push, scoring 44% of the team's goals. And this achievement cements his legacy as one of the league's elite forwards. And let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, expect clear skies and we'll have a low of 51. Tomorrow is going to be nice and sunny when we reach a high of 82. Wednesday will also be sunny with a high of 79 and a low of 53. Thursday, it may be time to break out the gloves and scarves. We still have clear skies on the way, but the high will only reach 66. And for our community calendar this Wednesday, Council member at large Calvin Hawkins is hosting a small and minority business community roundtable town hall meeting. FSC First and the Prince George's County Office of Procurement will be in attendance, and this event takes place from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Wayne K. Curry County Administration Building. But for more information, contact 301-952-2195. And that's all the time we have here on CTV News. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.